Last week I tried decoding a French pattern from 1869 because how hard could it be to decipher techniques from 160 years ago? Well, the answer is very hard. This was a roller coaster. The instructions were brief and confusing. Almost all of the construction was implied. So it was no surprise when I first got this result.
I'm extremely disappointed.
But because I'm a warrior, I went back to work and made the proper adjustments. Or so I thought. I replaced the buttons by a zipper, made the lapel go all the way through, added back darts to get that 1800 cinched waist. But nothing was really straightforward in this project. This was actually the first time that I truly understood what people meant when they talked about Project from Hell, because after giving it my all, and I really mean it, I ended up with this. And this is where we are today.
This is not a costume. This is not a costume. This is just how I would like to dress every day.
I knew I couldn't give up because you wouldn't let me. I received so many tips and tricks in the comments, which opened my eyes to the fact that this project was impossible for me to achieve from the get-go, because I'm simply not the target audience. These patterns were directed towards professional seamstresses who could sort through all of the mysterious steps hidden in these instructions. They had knowledge I don't have, they had tools I don't have, and they had context I can only guess. But so many of you congratulated me for going this far, so I am determined to 1. Finish this project, and 2. Make it mine. Because if I can't replicate secret methods of the time, well, I'm gonna have to come up with some of my own. This is not about historical accuracy anymore. This is about turning this project into something I can actually wear and I like. But before we get into fixing this disaster, let me show you a package I received. When Vivaia reached out, I'll be honest, I already knew of them, and I already knew that their shoes were extremely cute and very much my style. But I was skeptical because I'm a secondhand girly through and through. I thrift, I recycle, and I'm a very slow buyer. In fact, you don't want to go shopping with me because 99% of the time I come back home empty-handed. But that's when they told me, yeah, you know that technically we're sort of secondhand. Did you know that most of our shoes are made out of plastic bottles? And I was like, well, no, I did not. And that changes things, doesn't it? Because if Vivaia transforms ocean plastic bottles into this insanely cute shoes, then it means that if you're buying those cute shoes, you're giving waste a second life. And that matters to me. Anyways, let me show you the pairs I chose. First off, we've got the Muriel in black. These are not just your average flats, and not because they're gorgeous, but because they're extremely cushiony. They truly feel like sneakers, and I'm not a sneakers girl, so these are the perfect alternative. My favorite part is obviously the design. I just love the slanted square toe. Whenever I see someone wearing a square toe, I just know they've got their things together. I just know. Oh, and they're machine washable. Nothing to add. Amazing. And then there's the Cecile, which if you like a little bit of edge in your outfits, which I do, then these are the ones for you. They're just cool girl coded. Like if I see you wearing this, I just instantly know that you're a cool girl. And that's that. You're a cool girl. They're super breathable. They're foldable. They're basically perfect for the incoming sunny days. And they come with very cute charms. So if you're trying to invest in your foot health, but also want to be more conscious about the way you're buying, go check Vivaia.com. And if you use the code MOJI, you have 12% off for the next 3 days. And after that, it's a 10%. Everything is linked below. And here's where we left off. I honestly cannot believe that some of you said it's not that bad. What do you mean it's not that bad? I'm still not over the disappointment. But anyways, let's do a rundown of everything that needs fixing. 1, back darts are misaligned. Number 2, wrong type of zipper. This one does not open fully. 3, the lapel. Something's wrong with the lapel, obviously. 4, the waistline. It's still a little bit weird. And 5, the cuffs. They need some sort of closing mechanism. 5 major problems, but I have a plan. We're gonna start easy and then increase the level of difficulty. Let's see if we can salvage this. And we're gonna start with the cuffs. Now this is what the pattern had to say about the sleeve constructions. And as you can see, there is no mention whatsoever of a closing mechanism for the cuffs. So I'm gonna have to choose one. And I think I'm gonna do hooks and eyes because apparently I want a little bit of a challenge. And the cuffs are done, and I'm pretty happy with how they turned out, honestly. I used to be very intimidated by hooks and eyes because every time I would install them, they would just wiggle and move. And this time, I went ahead and I checked one of my skirts that had hooks and eyes, and I noticed that they were locked in right in the center point of each component. And so that's what I did, and they're not moving. The next thing I want to tackle is the back portion of the bodice, and especially the darts that I created. Now, this is what the pattern had to say about the basque construction. And while I'm not going to follow every step to the T, I am going to rectify the darts placement because they gave me a good clue that I ignored it. The darts have been aligned, and I have to say, I think I followed the pattern instructions to the T on this one. Now, where I'm going to diverge from the pattern instructions is regarding my next improvement, which is the side seam. If you've watched part 1, then you know that I had some doubts regarding whether I had to sew the side seams all the way through or if I had to leave a little bit of an opening where these flaps are located. So I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do here. Am I supposed to go around? Am I supposed to sew right through? Am I supposed to leave it alone? I ended up guessing that I was supposed to leave them open, and I think that that was a correct assumption. However, for the use that I want to give this blouse, I think it's best I close them. So, let me first walk you through the improvements. I would say that the cuffs are looking pretty good. The back darts are looking pretty good. And the gap over here is also looking pretty good. But it is now time to address the elephant in the room. The reverse, aka lapel, aka mistakenly referred to as interfacing. Yes, we have come a long way. Some of you in the comments gracefully let me know that you are supposed to alter the base pattern. But the thing is, in the first part, I was too busy trying to understand the steps, so I did not make any alterations to the base pattern, which is why we find ourselves in this situation. So thanks to you, I am now willing to modify the base pattern and make it work. Anyways, step number 1 is to make this fit me, which I think it's pretty simple because here's the mistake. This was the mistake all along. There's a bunch of excess fabric right here, and I think we have to get rid of it. I've got two updates for you. The first update is that I have removed the excess of fabric from the closure, and now it fits really well. It fits really, really well. The second update I have for you is that I have sewn in all of my hooks, and it was such a good experience. It took a lot of time, but it was a great experience. And it's also historically accurate, which in this case for me, it was a bonus. Like while I was trying it on and closing the hooks, I was like, this makes perfect sense. Those are my two updates. Now, it's finally time to work on the lapel. And I'm still as confused as I was, but your comments helped me so much. So, on the one hand, you got the club of people who were like, hey Mia, just reinstall the first lapel. There was nothing wrong with it. You know, just go ahead and reinstall that one. And I would say that's 90% of my comments. And then you've got a second club of people, which is like one person and me, who are like, well, the back lapel made sense. So that would be nice to include. But your second try did not make any sense, which I completely agree with you. The second try was horrible. It was really bad. I agree with you. So it would be very easy for me to just reinstall the lapel, but because I'm a rebellious person, I decided that I'm going to combine both ideas into one. So I am going to reinstall the original lapel, and then with my failed second lapel, I'm going to try to make another back lapel. But I don't want them to be one piece. So it's going to be 3 pieces total. Disclaimer, this might be a complete disaster, but we're here for the ride. We're here to experiment and to learn new things, and we learn from our mistakes. And each time it feels like the stakes are higher, but they're actually not. A mistake is still a mistake, and yeah, it's okay to fail. I think I'm about to. I'm just going to show you. I'm not going to say anything. I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I don't want to cry. That's why I'm laughing. But what is this? I don't know what happened there, but I have two options. I can give up on the back portion of the lapel, or I can try to fix this. And for the first time in my life, I'm inclined to listen to you guys and you guys warned me. You guys warned me. Oh my. This was a double-edged sword moment for me because on the one hand, I was super happy with how the front lapel had turned out. But on the other hand, I felt like I couldn't be happy about that because, well, the back was a complete mess and I didn't know if it was worth fixing. I find myself at crossroads, and that is because I'm trying to assess the situation. I'm trying to think clearly and reflect on whether this is my pride telling me to keep going and try to make this happen. On the one hand, I feel like this is somewhat fixable, but at the same time, I'm trying to read your comments and reflect on whether this is just me obsessing over making the back lapel happen, which I have been known to be quite an obsessive person. And like I said, I don't think this is unfixable or undoable, but it might be a waste of my time. What do we think? By that point, I was searching for any justification for the time that I had already invested, which is why I kept going. With this project, I realized that it was far easier to continue deceiving myself than to cut my losses and admit that I simply had not been able to work it out. In theory, when I line up the front and back lapels, I can see the misalignment that I see when I'm wearing the bodice. So in theory, if I draw the new shapes that I want, then I should be able to sew the new back on and for them to line up, just like drawn, in theory. All right. It's not working, and I don't think it's gonna work. And no matter how hard I try to make the back and the front aligned with each other, it's not gonna happen. It's not what I was envisioning from the get-go. In fact, this has nothing to do with what I was envisioning. I think I misread the instructions and started an obsession. I don't think there ever was a back lapel because there was no pattern piece for it. Yet there was a pattern piece for every other pattern piece. Yeah, I don't think it's meant to happen. I'm gonna do the neckline now. I am sat on my floor with my needle and thread and my scissors, which can only mean that I have tried the blouse on and I'm satisfied with how it looks. So I'm about to dive into the finishing details, which basically entails finishing the neckline by hand and the lapel. I'm excited to show you the final blouse.